Hey guys, Johnny here, bringing you a deck tech for my Titan deck. It's mono blue, of course, and it uses the cards from the new Attack on Titan set. So let's get started. For level 0, I run 3 of these Towering Threat Titan. It gives your middle character in your center stage plus 1000 power, and you can pay 2, rest this card, and search your deck for a Titan character. So it's good for getting cards that you need and to pay out climaxes, since the deck kind of has a problem with paying out climaxes. And it pumps your character in the center 1000, which is pretty important later on. I run 4 of these 0015 Sonies. On play, you can put up to X cards from the top of your deck into the waiting room, X equal to the number of Titan characters you have, including itself. And also on play, you can discard a card and you can choose one of your characters and they get plus 1500 power until the end of your opponent's next turn. So he's a good card because the deck doesn't have a Brainstormer, so if you get Climax screwed, you have to get a way to mill through your deck, and he does exactly that. And his second effect is just icing on the cake, I guess. Next I run 4 of these 004Ks, Armor Titans. They, when they get reversed in battle, you have to take a damage, so if you play him early level 0, he can help you get to level 1 before your opponent. And lastly, I run 4 of these Chimi Colossal Titans. On play, you can give one of your Titan characters 1/5 power, and that includes himself. So he just helps pump your Titans. So that's 15 level 0s. For level 1, we have 6 of these 1/0 Invasion Titans. You can run as many copies of this card as you want in your deck, and if all your characters are Titans, it gets 2000 power. So it's a 106k, and it's just a beefy beater. Next I run 2 of these Cruel Smile Titans. They're 1/7k, and they can't side attack because they have Clock Encore. So they're here because they're also beat sticks and they're Clock Encore, and sometimes you don't draw some of these cards, so you need a sustainable level 1. Next I run 2 of these 112k Female Titans. She's a 1/5 backup when you use her backup, and if you use her backup and you have 3 or more Titans on the field, it's you can give your battling character another 1/5. So it's essentially a 113k backup, which is just crazy. And then lastly, one of the key cards in the deck, Forest of Giant Trees. It's a 1/0 event. When you play it, you search your deck for 2 Titan characters, and then you discard 1 card from your hand, and then you send it to clock. And it combos well with the next cards I'll be showing you. So that's 2, 4, 7, 13 level 1s. First, for level 2s, I have 2 of these 2/1 Female Titans. She's a 1000 global to all your Titan characters, and you can also rest her to give a Titan character 1000. And when you play any climax, you can pay 3, discard 2 cards, and burn your opponent for 5 damage. And the main game for level 2 is these cards. I run 3 Threat to Humanity Colossal Titan and 3 Broken Wall Colossal Titan. And they combo with the level 3 Enormous Stature Colossal Titan. So they all combo together, so I'll just explain all 3 of them at once. So these both have the effects: if this is not on your field, they can't attack. And this one's effect is, if it's in the right position of your field, these 2 get plus 1000 power. And this one is, if it's on the left position of your field, these 2 get plus 1000 power. And then their last effect is, if he gets sent to their waiting room, they have to go to the waiting room as well. Then they have a climax combo with the Pants Trigger. So this one's effect is, when it attacks, you get to draw a card with the climax in play. And this one's effect is, when you attack, you can discard a card and give all your Titan characters plus 3/5 power until the end of the turn, while the climax is in play. And his climax combo is at the beginning of your encore phase, you can send this climax to the waiting room, and then take the top card of your clock and add it to your hand. Then he gets plus 3,000 power until the end of your opponent's turn. And his other effect is during your opponent's turn, if he's not reversed, then these two can't be reversed by battle. So it's a pretty crazy combo. He gets really huge, and then these two just can't get reversed, and it makes for opponents quite salty. So that's 8 level 2s, and rounding off level 3s, I have 3 of these 32 10k female titans. Their effect is -1 soul in front, and when they attack with the book in play, you can draw a card, and she gets the effect until the end of your opponent's next turn, -1 soul. So essentially she becomes a -2 soul in front. And then lastly, when she gets frontal attacked, you can discard 1 Titan character and she gets plus 2/5 power. So if you use her effect and then use the 1/1 backup, it's essentially a 5/5 backup. And she has -2 soul if you got her climax combo off. So pretty crazy stuff. And then of course, for climaxes, I run 4 pants and 4 books. The only climaxes that a Titan deck really can't play. So moving on to how the deck's played. So at level 0, your field generally consists of this guy and maybe 1 or 2 if you're lucky of the towering threat Titan in the back row. So now your armor Titan in the center is a 006k, and he's pretty hard to deal with. Also, he gets reversed, and then you clock yourself to level up before your opponent. If his power is not enough, the 00 promo is also there to help pump him up even bigger. I wouldn't play these necessarily at level 0. I would want to save them for when I need to quote-unquote brainstorm through my deck. And then at level 1, just play these cute little guys and maybe one of this. Also, regarding this event, you can generally, if I have the level 2 combo in my hand, I'll use it at level 1 so I can search for more beaters. But if I don't have the level 2s in hand, I generally save this for level 2, and I'll explain why here in a minute. So the level 2, replace one of these with this so it's a global, or if you just really hate your opponent, make both of these the 2/1 assist. And then you set up your Exodia pieces. So now this is giving these 1,000, and this is giving these 1,000, and this is giving everything 1,000. So right now in the center he is a 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. He's a 14k, and these are 12 5s. So pretty big already, right? Now, say at level 2 you don't have these 2 cards. Well, then you'd play this event, search for these 2, discard whatever cards, then play them. And then, preferably, you have the climax combo. So then, this is where more synergy comes in. So you attack with this, you draw a card, and then you attack with this to discard a card. It can be a card that you draw, or just like another climax in your hand before refresh, and then everything gets power. And lastly, after you attack with him, beginning of your opponent's your encore, you send this to the waiting room, and you add this to your hand. And so next, not only do you have a huge wall and characters that can't be reversed, if your opponent somehow gets over him, next turn you can just search for your combo pieces again with this event that you just added back into your hand. So it's a pretty awesome combo. And also, if you're nearing level 3 and your opponent still hasn't gotten rid of these yet, you can use this event to search for this 3/2 Titan. With her climax combo, she can be quite the nuisance, because if you have 2 already, that's basic. Your opponent has to play level 3s and then play a climax to do any damage. And that's just really annoying to deal with, especially if you have 2 and then if you have 3, then that's just... whew. So, yeah, that's the deck and how you play it. And I'll go into the other Titan cards that aren't in my deck. So for alternatives, there's not really many to choose from. There's only so many Titans in the set. For level 0, if you don't have the promos, which one is it? This one and this one. Of course, you can run these 001,000s. You can run as many as you want in your deck, and for every other one in your front row, they get plus 2,000 power. So if you have 3 of them in the front row, then they're all 5Ks. The reason I don't choose to run them is because after putting in all the level 0s I had in the deck, I realized that I only had really like 4 empty, 6 or 4 empty slots, and so I figured that these would be inconsistent if I just ran only that many. Generally you want to run these at a high number, so I opted to run the 004K instead. And really the only other card is this 2/1 Armor Titan. If all your characters are Titan trait, he gets plus 2,000 power, and when he reverses his opponent, you can clock yourself and draw one. He would be a good card because he's a 2/19K, but the reason I don't use him is because level 2 is just this. And if you play this combo, which I'm guessing most Titan decks do, there's really no room to play him at all. But otherwise he'd be a pretty good card. I don't know how I feel about clocking myself that late at level 2 though. And lastly, there's 2 more Colossal Titan promos, but those are also pretty meh. So yeah. So that's the deck, guys. It's a pretty awesome swarm deck. I didn't think it'd be this fun. It kind of puts Joj to shame. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed and keep building up those walls, ironically.